Welcome back to What Do I Know, the show where we unpack big questions by connecting dots most people never look twice at. Here's one. What if humanity didn't come up with knowledge on its own? What if it was given to us from above? In almost every major religion and ancient myth, there's a pattern. Divine or advanced beings descend from the skies and don't just show power, they show teaching. They bring law, language, agriculture, astronomy, healing, even the idea of morality. Let's explore. In Christianity and Judaism, we start with a defining moment. Moses climbs Mount Sinai and receives the 10 Commandments, carved by the finger of God. That's not symbolic, those are direct instructions from a divine source. And there are messengers angels, like Gabriel, who appear to key figures to deliver precise messages. They don't just inspire, they instruct. But then you get a twist. In Eden, the serpent tempts Eve to eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That word again, knowledge. Suddenly, humanity sees the world differently. They know more, and they're punished for it. So right from the start, knowledge is tied to something not human and often forbidden. Now flip to Islam. The Prophet Muhammad receives the Quran through the angel Jibril, or Gabriel. Over 23 years it's recited to him in perfect form. No edits, no rewrites. It's considered a divine download, not a creation. It wasn't written by man, it was revealed. In Hinduism, gods appear as avatars, incarnations like Krishna and Rama, who don't just perform miracles. They guide, teach, and remind humanity of cosmic laws. Krishna teaches Arjuna the Bhagavad Gita, a spiritual and philosophical guide that's still studied today. Then there's the origin of Hindu scripture itself, the Vedas. These weren't written in the modern sense. They were heard by ancient sages, rishis, who claimed they didn't invent them, but received them. Some say from the cosmos, some say from the gods. Either way, the knowledge came from beyond. And even in Buddhism, which doesn't deal with creator gods, we see something similar. Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, reaches enlightenment by transcending human limitations. What he gains is insight into suffering, rebirth, liberation knowledge so deep it spreads through an entire continent. Again, it wasn't taught to him. It came through awakening. Now let's push even further back into ancient Sumer, widely considered the cradle of civilization. Their gods, the Anunnaki, were said to have come from the sky and gifted humans with writing, agriculture, and kingship. They didn't just rule, they built civilization. In Egypt, the god Thoth gives us language, writing, math, and science. In Greek mythology, Prometheus steals fire from Olympus and gives it to mankind. Fire? Yes, but symbolically, that's knowledge, enlightenment, power. Why are these stories everywhere? Different cultures, different times, different gods, but the same theme. Beings from above bring knowledge to those below. They descend from mountains, from stars, from heaven. They don't just rule, they teach. Or sometimes they warn against learning too much too soon. And here's the real twist. These stories aren't just spiritual, they're technical. Rating systems, measurements, farming, healing, astronomy, laws, even architecture. It's as if, suddenly, early humans just knew things. So what are we dealing with? Metaphor, myth, or memory? Were ancient people describing the best way they knew how beings that weren't gods in robes, but something else? Advanced intelligence, higher beings, visitors, are angels, gods, avatars? and watchers all just cultural names for the same phenomena? And if knowledge was given to us, who gave it and why? What if the real story of human history isn't just about evolution, but interaction? Maybe we didn't rise alone. Maybe we were raised like children by something watching from above. What do I know? Thanks for listening. If this episode opened a question for you, share it with someone who's ready to ask the same. Leave a comment, subscribe, and stay in the loop for the next drop. Until next time, stay curious, stay questioning, and maybe look up a little more often.